Yo, what's going on, guys? A tip for anybody who is thinking about starting a coaching business in 2022, but wants to know where to start before they start. So I talked about this in an episode long ago that you have to do work before the work. And so in coaching, in PTBI especially, there's a lot of work that we give you. So we're going to teach you how to outbound prospect. We're going to teach you how to close. We're going to teach you how to build out your back end. But before you get to that work, you do have to prep yourself up into that work by understanding how to show up online, understanding how to create content, understanding how to create a presence online. And so one of the things that is a prerequisite for PTBI is you have to build an audience. Right. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, I want to know what I need to have prepped before I start my coaching business, what I'm going to tell you right now, the number one asset that you can build for yourself is an audience. That is the number one thing that you can do, because the bigger the audience you have, the stronger gravitational pull you will have for your offer. Now, it's not impossible to start a coaching business with a small audience. You can absolutely do that. But as your coaching business grows, you will want your audience to grow too. So here's what I always say is that you don't need a lot of followers to get started in your coaching business. You can start with, a small following, but the bigger audience you have, the more followers you have, the easier it does get. So I will just say that. Now, I don't want you to think of that as like, oh, if I don't have a big following, then what's the point? No, you absolutely can still build a successful coaching business, but it just gets easier with the bigger audience size that you have. So I want to share with you guys a quick tip that will highlight this. I will say online in a competitive marketplace, the sweet spot that you should be for an Instagram page or for a Facebook page for getting attention and getting leads is at least 1,000 followers, right? If you don't have at least 1,000 followers, then what your goal should be is to learn how to build an audience and grow to 1,000 followers. That is the number one thing that you should be thinking about if you are thinking about starting a coaching business and you haven't yet you haven't yet committed to the actual work yet. You're wondering, okay, what can I do in the meantime to get myself as best prepared? Learn how to grow an audience, right? And so what I will share with you here, how to grow an audience, is a couple things. One, you're going to need to start posting content daily, right? And unfortunately, not the content that you want to post, the content that is getting pushed and promoted on Instagram, right? And we're talking about Instagram here. This same rules apply for Facebook and for YouTube too. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to hack the algorithm. You want to do what's trendy. You want to see what's being pushed out. If you go to the Instagram Explore page and look at your Explore page, then Instagram is literally showing you that these are the posts that are doing really well that we want to promote to other people. So what you can literally do is go through all the posts that you see on your Instagram Explore page, save them into a little folder, and then recreate your own versions of that as well. For example, with Reels, essentially what I'm doing with Reels is I see a Reel that I like and think is funny. I save the audio and I recreate that Reel in my own niche. So if you see something that you think is funny or you see something that you think is really cool, then recreate that in your own niche. And that is going to be promoted more so than, what you might think is being promoted. Here's the thing, guys. People think that because they're unique and special, that their post should be promoted. The other thing, the thing here sense too, is people always complain about being shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. People aren't seeing my likes. People aren't, engaging with my stuff. The algorithm's messed up. That's false. All of that is false. It's your content. Your content is bad. If people are not engaging with your content, it's not because the algorithm is messed up. It's because your content is bad. And so you do kind of have to play the game here if you want to grow your page. The best way to do that is to get inspiration from pages that are doing really well, recreating that piece of content in your own niche. Now, this doesn't mean copying flat out. It means getting inspiration and recreating it in your own niche. For example, I put up a post the other day with a reel sound, and the reel sound is a trending sound. And so I forget what the actual reel was, but I took the sound, I made my own version of it, and with all the punchlines, I made it relevant to starting your own business. And so that's what you can do, and it gets promoted, it gets, built up. So that's one thing, is create content that is trendy, that is in right now. So that way your page gets promoted on the explore page. The next thing too is engage like a mofo. So everyone who comments on your page, make sure you comment back. Anyone who likes your page, make sure you shoot them a message and like them back. Every single connection you can build with someone online is extremely, extremely valuable. The other thing you could do too is leave comments on other people's pages. When you leave comments on other people's pages, people will read those comments and find your page as well. So if you want to build an audience, you have to get really active on social media. That means interacting with other people's pages, supporting the people that follow you, creating consistent content that is good and being promoted. And so the goal here is to get at least 1,000 followers. Now, this means real followers. I'm not saying buy fake followers, because that's counterintuitive. It's not going to do you any good. It's going to do more harm than good. But if you're at a place where you have less than 500 followers, that's what we call the danger zone, because it is really hard to get business with an audience size that small, because the best places you can get business from is your own audience. When you start getting cold, it gets really difficult, because if you get a message from someone who has, say, 300 followers, and you get a message from someone who has 1,500 followers, the person with 1,500 followers has more social proof because they have more people following them. And unfortunately, it does work kind of like an episode of Black Mirror. Do you guys remember that social media episode where like your social status rating is like shown to everyone? That's pretty much how it works on social media already. Like we already live in that sense. And so for me, if I get a message from someone with only 300 followers, my thing is like, okay, what is it about this person that makes people not like them? Right? Because only 300 people are following them, which means that there's a lot of people in their life that are choosing not to follow them. Right? I usually find the number for like a popular student, or like at least like a decent popular student, by the time they get to college is around 800 to 2,000 followers. That's like a normal student. So that's not an influencer. That's not like a business. That's a normal person, right? Going through high school, through college, by the time they get to college, you're going to be anywhere between 800 to 2,000. So for me, that's like normal social proof. If you have anything less than 500 followers, unless you're a brand new page, I'm going to wonder, okay, what's wrong with what? Unfortunately, it's like, what is it about this person that's gotten them all the way up into the point they are today, and people have chosen not to follow them? For me, it's a red flag. So I always say, build an audience, get your following up to at least 1,000 followers. 500 to 1,000, you're sitting nice and pretty, but 4 digits does look better. So the goal should be 1,000. Anything less than 500 is, the danger zone. So that's my tip for the day, guys. If you guys are starting a business and you are wondering what you should be doing, build your audience, because that is going to pay dividends in the future, and it's going to make your job building a business so much easier. The best way to do that is create content that's trendy right now. Unfortunately, guys, selling your soul to the devil is like what you got to do, right? So to create the content that's popular, grow your page, because there's a reason that's popular. You're going to have to pivot again and again. And, reels and trending sounds right now is just a trend for right now. Eventually in the future, it is going to change again. I remember back in 2018, it was, swipe workouts, and then there was long captions, and then there was infographics. And so social media is always changing. The way we consume content will change too. So hope that resonated with you guys. Get your following up, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.